Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is February 17th, 2025, and La Liga are alleging foul play by Barcelona in the registrations of Dani Olmo and Pau Victor. Also, Barcelona have secured a new signing, and I'm going to tell you who it is. And finally, Neymar's father has addressed the rumors in regards to Neymar's return or possible return to FC Barcelona. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. This is the Barca News live podcast where we discuss Barcelona news, but where I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments, answering your questions, and getting the discussion going. For those of you who will be watching when the podcast ends, I will be putting timestamps in the description and chapters in the timeline in case you do want to skip through all the discussion and just get straight into the news. Having said all that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to Goal Kids, Kickback, or Fanatics. If you're looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are down below in the description. You click on them, you get access to some pretty cool deals and offers. All right, let's begin with the news because, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona defeated Rayo Vallecano today 1-0. And with this victory, we're officially back at the top of La Liga table. We are tied with Real Madrid as far as points, 51 each. But, of course, Barcelona did defeat Real Madrid in the Clásico match in La Liga, so that's why we are first. And then, of course, Atletico Madrid in third place, only 1 point behind Barca and Madrid. So definitely a very important win. I did do the post-match live analysis, so if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. It's on the channel, so you can hear my analysis, my thoughts, my opinions of the match between Barca and Rayo Vallecano. All right, let's begin with the important news, with the headline news that you saw on the headline of this podcast. Because, ladies and gentlemen, La Liga are accusing Barcelona of foul play when it comes to the registrations of Dani Olmo and Pau Victor. You might be saying, Mo, what the hell are you talking about? Well, as you know, Pau Victor and Dani Olmo's registration expired on December 31st. In order to register those players, Barcelona needed to achieve the 1-1 rule. And in order to achieve the 1-1 rule, Barcelona sold the rights to the VIP seats at the new Spotify Camp Nou Stadium. And with that money that they made from the sale, around 100 million euros, they were able to achieve the 1-1 rule. But of course, La Liga are alleging that Barcelona did it a little bit too late, even though Barcelona did complete that deal before December 31st deadline. But of course, when Barcelona presented the deal to La Liga said, no, the contract is not enough. We need guarantees that you're going to receive payment. Barcelona went back to their investors, said, hey, we need guarantees of payment. When the investors got the guarantees of payment, it was already past December 31st. It was January 3rd, to be more exact. And then Barcelona went back to La Liga, said, okay, look, here's a guarantee. La Liga said, good, everything's good, 1-1 rule, but you can't register Dani Olmo Pau Victor because the registrations expired on December 31st. Now, Barcelona filed the suit or filed an appeal with the court to get the registration of Dani Olmo Pau Victor done. And of course, La Liga have responded. They're against it. In the meantime, while the court rules, they have until April 15th to rule. Pau Victor and Dani Olmo have been registered temporarily. Now, what is happening with the whole foul play? La Liga filed their own paperwork with the court, with a CSD, saying, no, Dani Olmo and Pau Victor should not be registered. Barcelona registered them too late, past the December 31st deadline. And part of that paperwork that they present, La Liga are alleging foul play. Now, what foul play are we talking about? Now, we know Barcelona sold the rights to the VIP seats to two investors in Qatar and in the United Arab Emirates. We don't know who the investors are. Jean Laporta and their board have refused to release the name of those investors. That's another problem that we've talked about. That's another problem that many of the socios have brought up, including Victor Fon, saying, how can you sell clubs' assets and not even tell us who you sold them to? But that's a separate topic. Now, we don't know who those investors are or where those 100 million euros came from, but La Liga are alleging that part of the money came from an investor called Emirates New Era Visionary Group. Now, what's the problem with this investor? It's that this investor is already a partner of Barcelona. In fact, this investor is an official telecommunication partner of Barcelona since November 2024. So, what are La Liga alleging? They're alleging that Barcelona had this deal with this investor already for something else. And then, in order to achieve the one-to-one and register Dani Olmo Pau Victor, they manipulated the finances and that they got the money from this guy, from this investor that they were already partnered with, and made it seem like it was coming from a different investor who was investing in the VIP seats. Okay? So that's what La Liga are alleging. Barcelona haven't responded to those allegations yet. I imagine Barcelona might say, no, it's not that same investor, or even if it is, that's okay. Sure, they're our partner in telecommunication. Doesn't mean they can't be our partner in the VIP seats. We don't know what Barcelona are going to say. They haven't replied yet. But these are the allegations so far, that Barcelona got 28 million euros from an existing partner, and they're making it seem like it's coming from a new investor who invested in the VIP seats. So in other words, that Barcelona manipulated the finances to register Dani Olmo and Pau Victor, or to achieve the one-on-one rule. Now, I will say two things. I guess that's four things. Two things. A, I'm not surprised whatsoever that this news broke today. Over the weekend, I was joking with my friend when Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid both drew and dropped points because they drew back-to-back. It's like Madrid match ended, Atletico match started, and they both drew. And I texted my friend, and I was like, just wait. On Monday, there's going to be a Negreira article. They're going to find out something new about Negreira because they have to distract from the crisis that Madrid are going through. So, well, lo and behold, it's not a Negreira article, but it's an article from El Confidencial showing the documentation, the court documentation that La Liga filed, which, by the way, they filed a long time ago. So this story could have broke a long time ago, but it broke today. So I'm not surprised about the timing. However, and this is important, just because the timing is off, it doesn't mean that there's no truth to the allegations. We don't know, right? We're going to find out through the court. Barcelona will present its evidence. La Liga will present its evidence. We'll see what the judge decides. So we don't know if these allegations are false or if these allegations are true. We don't know anything. We just know that these allegations were made by La Liga. Again, the timing is very suspicious of this story, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the story or the allegations are false. Because let's not forget, Joan Laporta has refused time and time again to reveal the name of the investors. And that smells fishy to me. Why won't you release it? Hey, we made partners with Spotify. Cool, look at all the money we made. Hey, got a new contract with Nike. Hey, we got what's the television maker, the one that's on a sleeve, whatever. But when it came to the VIP seats, it's like, shh, we can't tell you. And they've been asked time and time again. They won't tell us. And that's fishy to me. Again, these allegations could be pure bullshit. We don't know. But we'll have to find out. Anyways, let's start with the comment section. And as always, my friend Texas Transplant, who's incredibly generous, says, wanted to ask you this for a while now. Ever given any thought to uploading your podcast to Spotify to reach a broader audience? I think it would do very well. Best source for Barca news by far. Thank you, my friend, for your generous donation. Thank you for your comment. And it's funny you mentioned this because I literally just started posting stuff to Spotify, I want to say 3 weeks ago. It's very, very new. I haven't announced anything here on the channel. I was just testing it out. It's the same podcast that you see on YouTube. And I know a lot of people like to listen to podcasts when they're driving. So I was like, let me try it. I'll start posting it to Spotify. I've been getting some traction. Nothing crazy. Like actually very little traction. Like I'll post a podcast and maybe 4 or 5 people will listen to it. But hey, it's a start. So, but thank you for your donation. Thank you for your comment and for your suggestion. Yes, I have been posting on Spotify. If you guys want to ever listen to my podcast on Spotify, you can. Or you can come here. You're welcome either way. All right, Java the Hut says, hey, Mo, who do you think is the best number 9 that will be the best for Barca, and who do you think is the most realistic from the financial aspect? Okay. I think the best right now is Haaland, obviously, but For Barca specifically, for me, I think it's a toss-up between Alexander Isaac and Jokic because of their mobility, right? Barcelona likes more mobile strikers versus box predators like Erling Haaland. Now, Alexander Isaac does have the advantage that he's actually played in La Liga over Jokic. So I would prefer Alexander Isaac over Jokic. As far as who can we afford out of the top options, none. That's as sad as that might be. I mean, yes, we achieved the 1-1 rule, but we didn't even have enough financial fair play to register the Inigo Martinez's contract renewal, and Inigo Martinez like earns peanuts. So who can we afford? Probably none. I mean, can we afford a signing? Maybe, but registering them, that's a different story. McBarca says, I don't want him back. He is not dedicated. I'm not sure who you're talking about, my friend. If you can clarify, please let me know. I would love to read your comment. Evan says, have you seen how the Madrid fans are saying over the disallowed goal for Rayo Vallecano? How can you explain that disallowed goal? It's pretty easy. If you look at, yes, the guy who scores the goal is not offside, but there's another Rayo Vallecano player who is offside, and he interferes in the play. How does he interfere in the play? He gets in the way of Inigo Martinez. You can see Inigo Martinez sees the Rayo Vallecano player go into the ball. Inigo Martinez starts running towards where the ball is going to land to try to intercept. But the Rayo Vallecano player who is offside interferes, holds on to Inigo Martinez and prevents Inigo Martinez from getting to where the ball was going to land. Now, would have Inigo Martinez made it on time? I don't know. Would he been able to clear that ball? I don't know. But he was headed that way, and he was prevented from making it to that destination because of a player who was offside. And if you interfere in a play while you're offside, even though you didn't touch the ball, that's offside. I mean, that's a rule that's been around for many years. If Madridistas are not familiar with that rule, I suggest to them refresh their knowledge of the rules. But most likely they do know of the rules' existence, but they're acting stupid, because if there's one thing we know about Madridistas is that they are great at acting stupid. Like, for example, the Jude Bellingham. Oh, fuck off is not really an insult. Really? Really? Come to New York. Go to the street. Tell anyone to fuck off. You'll be eating your teeth for lunch. Let's see if then you're going to act stupid like, oh, I didn't know fuck off was a bad thing. Nathan says, hi, Mo, if Marcus Rashford still wants to join Barcelona, can Barca buy him or join one season on loan? On loan, most likely, is impossible because we've seen Manchester United are sick and tired of Marcus. They don't want anything to do with him. So I'm guessing it's going to be kind of like the Manchester City Joao Cancelo deal, right? Where Man City were like, yo, we're done with loans. We sent Cancelo on loan to Bayern. We send him to Barca. We're done. You either buy him or you can't have him because we're sick and tired of him. So I think Man U is going to do the same thing in the summer. And be like, look, I'm sick and tired of Rashford. You either buy him or nothing, because we're not going to do another loan. Can Barcelona afford to buy him? I don't know. It depends on how much Man U is going to ask for. I'm guessing maybe Man U is going to want around 50, 70, which is pretty high for Barca right now. Michael says, hey, Mo, nice to catch you on the live. If we are having problems with financial fair play with Inigo, doesn't that mean we won't have fair play to sign Williams or Ta? Not necessarily, because in the summer, we'll have new financial fair play update, right? Because the fiscal year will end. And based on how Barcelona's fiscal year went, and Barcelona made money, how much money they made. When I say made money, of course, I mean profits versus revenue, right? Revenue, how much money comes in. Profit is your revenue minus your expenditure. You either have a profit, which means you made more than you spent, or you're in the red, which means you spent more than you made. Now, once the fiscal year ends, which ends in June, at the end of June, all clubs will submit their paperwork to La Liga, and based on how much profits Barcelona made, they'll get a new limit of financial fair play. So it depends. All right, let's get back to the news, because we do have to talk about Barcelona's new signing. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona have signed another young, up-and-coming, talented player. Because as you know, Barcelona's new philosophy has been to scour the world, the whole planet, for young up-and-coming talents, identify those talents, and then sign them for Barcelona. I think it's a great way to go about business, because you save a lot of money, right? You're only spending 1, 2, maybe 3 million euros tops on a young player versus spending 130 on Dembele, who spent his whole time here in the hospital. And two, the risk is very low, right? If the player works out, amazing. You just hit the lottery. You just signed a star for nothing, 1, 2, 3 million euros. If it doesn't work out, who cares? You just spent 1, 2, 3 million euros, right? Versus spending 130 on Dembele and him flopping. That's a huge, huge hole. So I really like this new philosophy of Barcelona of scouting, identifying, and signing young talent. And while Barcelona have signed yet another young and up-and-coming talent, it's the guy you see on your screen. His name is Hafez Gariba. He's an 18-year-old defender out of Ghana, another Ghanaian talent. Ghana's been just producing Barcelona talent like left and right, just hitting them at the park. But another 18-year-old Ghanaian defender, or player, I should say. He's a defender. He has signed with Barcelona for 3 years, and he's going to join the Juvenil B, the Barcelona youth team, the under-19B, which is currently managed by Paul Planas. And they expect him to obviously, they're doing that just as an initial phase, just so he can start getting used to the Barca style of play and learn the new concepts of Barcelona DNA. But they expect him that he's going to probably develop quickly and immediately probably get promoted to Juvenil A, which right now is under Giuliano Belletti. And who knows, if he continues improving, eventually Barca Athletic and maybe the first team one day. Now, Hafez Gariba is known for his defensive anticipation. He's really good at anticipating passes and, being there right on time to get them. He's also a very physical defender, and his imposing physique allows him to intercept passes, but also allows him to cover a lot of ground when he tracks back. So in other words, kind of like Araujo, right? Big, physical, strong defender who can, track back, win duels in the air. So kind of like another Araujo, a Ghanaian Araujo, if you want to put it that way. Now, Hafez Gariba developed in the Escuela Marcet, which, if I'm not mistaken, is in Catalonia, in Barcelona. And as such, he attracted attention from a lot of Spanish clubs in La Liga. But his priority was always to sign with Barcelona. And while his dream has come true, Barcelona have signed him for 3 seasons, and he will be immediately joining the Juvenil B. Now, speaking of Ghanaian players, I do have just a little update about Brahim Diarra, because people always asking me, Mo, what's happening with Brahim Diarra? As you know, Barcelona officially signed him in December when he turned 18. He didn't arrive in the club until January because of his paperwork, visa, work permit, etc. He was expected to join Barca Athletic, but he was left out Barca Athletic and instead joined Juvenil A. So he's currently playing with Juvenil A. He's actually been relegated to the bench. So it looks like, he's still adapting. I'm not worried about it. The club's not worried about it. The club is still betting on him 100%. They know he's an incredibly talented player, that he has a lot of potential. They know he eventually is going to, take off. So nobody's worried. It's just part of the process, right? He literally just arrived last month. He's only been at the club 1 month. He has to adapt to European football, Barcelona style of play. And on top of that, he just came back from a long, serious injury to his knee. So he's like, there's a lot going on. He has to get back into form, get back into competitive rhythm, get used to Barcelona style of play, get used to European football. So it's going to take some time, but have to be patient, right? We cannot expect him to arrive and then be Ronaldinho the following day. Anyways, that is all the news for this segment. Let's do the chat section, and then we will talk about Jonathan Tah. All right, let's see. Barca Soldier says, no, Nice or Rashford. Both are not at Barca level, in my opinion. Barca Rashford could be. Skill-wise, he is Barca level. Rashford has immense talent. When he's on his game, he is unstoppable. The problem is that he's rarely on his game. That's the problem. So he could be Barca level if he was able to maintain his top form, because we've seen his top form, and his top form is lethal. The problem is he can't keep it up. And that's obviously a big, big problem, because if you want to be a player for a big club like Barca, not only do you need the skills to be a top player, but you have to be able to maintain that, right? You can't just have the skills. Like Joao Felix, right? All the skills in the world, one of the most skilled players in the world, but he just couldn't keep up the good performances. Carlos says, does the investors matter? They are investors for one thing and now they're investing in something else. I don't see anything wrong. It could be. It could be. Again, we don't know. We just know that La Liga have alleged that the money is coming from a Barcelona partner, that Barcelona are in, they're manipulating the finances. But yes, you could be right. It could be, sure, yeah, it could be. It could be actually for a completely different investor. La Liga might be wrong. Maybe it's not from the Emirates New Era Vision Group. Maybe it's a different investor that Barcelona haven't revealed, or maybe it is. And if it is, there might be nothing there, right? It might be like, yeah, sure, they're our telecommunication partner, but they decided to also be our VIP seats partner. Like, you can be an investor in multiple areas, right? There's no harm or foul there, but we don't know, right? We don't know because the club doesn't tell us anything, and I guess we're just gonna have to wait for the court, right? Or maybe Barcelona will finally decide to do a statement and for the first time explain shit to the fans and to the socios. And if they don't, I guess we'll just have to wait for what happens in the court. After all, I guess that's one benefit. Kind of like with the whole Victor Fon and Deco. I was like, this sucks because we have a club sporting director suing a club member. And so it just shows like, you know, infighting. But at the same time, I'm like, I guess if this is the only way we're going to find out what the hell happened with Vitor Roque, then I guess that's the silver lining. So here, I guess the silver lining is we're going to find out if that's true or not. So I don't know, man. I wish just what the club was more transparent in that way. See, if the club had told us from the beginning, look, these are the investors, these are who they are, this is how much they're investing, blah, 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 would have been like, all right, cool. Then when this story would have broke, oh, La Liga are making allegations. I don't care. La Liga can say whatever the hell they want. We know what happened. But because the club doesn't tell us shit and doesn't tell anyone shit, now we're all sitting here like, I wonder if La Liga is right. See what happens when you lack transparency. But anyways, let's get back to the news because we do have to talk about Jonathan Tah. Well, someone told me it's Tach. I don't know. If anyone's German, speaks German, can confirm, is it Jonathan Tah or Jonathan Tach? Let me know, please. But for now, I'll call him Jonathan Tah. But the news about Jonathan Tah is that Bayern Munich have officially retired from or withdrew from the race for the defender. And I'm going to tell you why that matters. Now, as you know, Jonathan Tah, his contract expires at the end of the season, which means he's going to be a free agent. As a result, he has attracted the interest of many, many clubs because A, he's a good defender, and B, who doesn't want a free good defender, right? One of those clubs who were really, really, really pushing for his signing was Bayern Munich. They were really after him. They were willing to offer him very high salary and lure him away from Barcelona because we know that Jonathan Tah prefers what? Prefers to go to Barcelona. So Bayern Munich were really, really trying to lure him away. Now, Bayern Munich have officially withdrawn from the race because sources close to their club says the agent of Jonathan Tah, who's Pini Zahabi, was really putting a lot of obstacles in the way of the negotiation, which Bayern eventually were like, you know what? Screw it. We're out. So now, Pini Zahabi could have been doing that on purpose because, as we know, Pini Zahabi is a really close friend of Laporta. He wants to bring Tah to Barcelona. There are many reports saying that there's already an agreement between Barcelona and the player. So Pini Zahabi could have been just, jerking their chain, kind of like to discourage them on purpose. Now, whatever the reason it may be, whether Bayern Munich withdrew because Pini Zahabi was put in obstacles or because simply they decided, screw it, we don't want this guy anymore, whatever the reason it may be, we do know for sure that Bayern have withdrawn from the race because their sporting director confirmed it today. So this is not a rumor. This is 100% sure. What Bayern Munich sporting director said, Tah's name is not in our thoughts now. Our defense is at a high level, and it is not something that is on Bayern's table for next season. So there you have it, folks. 100% confirmed. Bayern Munich are out of the race for Tah. And you might say, Mo, why do we care who Bayern Munich signs or not? Because if Barca and Bayern were the two clubs that were fighting most for Tah, and now Bayern is out, that leaves a clear way for Barcelona to sign him, which again Plenty of reports are stating that there's already an agreement between the two. So this only solidifies that hypothesis that could be coming to Barcelona during the summer per Hansi Flick's request, which of course again begs the question, who's going to leave? As I said in the last video, Barcelona are open to Christensen leaving. All right, let's get back to the comment section, and then we will talk about Neymar, who for as long as FC Barcelona exists, he will continue to be linked. Neymar will be, God forbid, one day dead, hopefully very, very old age in 100 years or something. And people still got to be asking, is Neymar's ghost going to go back to Barca? Or maybe they ask his kids or something. Are you going to go back to Barca in the place of your father? Anyways, we have news about those links, but let's do some comments. Sagnik says, if you get the time, then you might want to post weekly videos about more general topics rather than updates purely based on your thoughts. You know what? I've thought about that. Because I've seen a lot of channels move that way. Like they'll be like, for example, like I don't know, a Liverpool channel, but then they'll still do like, for example, reviews of like big matches. Or I've seen like in Spanish Madridista channels, like they obviously cover Madrid stuff, but then they'll still cover like Barcelona matches, like even if Barca's not playing Madrid, like today, right? Oh, what's going on with Barca Rayo Vallecano? Why? Because it directly affects Real Madrid. So I've thought about that. I really have thought about that. I've thought about like covering Madrid matches just so we could stay in the loop. If Atletico Madrid stays up there in the race, maybe also cover Atletico Madrid just because it directly affects Barcelona, right? And maybe like big stories from other clubs that affects everybody. For example, the Jude Bellingham bullshit, because that does affect everyone, because now Madrid, they're just, they're going to send their own report on how to improve refereeing. They're going to meet with the CTA on their own because they're not happy. That affects things because they've already been affecting the competition through Real Madrid TV, putting pressure on the refs through Real Madrid TV. And now they're looking to exert more pressure, and that affects everybody. So I have thought about that. But yeah, time. One day, hopefully, I'll be able to do this full time because I have so many thoughts and ideas and plans that I would love to implement in the channel. So it wouldn't be just news updates, but also like content, like historical content, like mini documentaries covering other, I have so many ideas, but unfortunately, time. Kalo Reddit says, hello Mo, I'm trying to start a channel and get a career started. Do you have any advice of how to get your channel off? Also love your work. Thank you, my friend. My best advice I can give you is just do it. I spent months and months thinking about it. Oh, I should do it. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Oh, I should do it. And nothing. And then I spent more months just researching. Oh, what's the best camera? What's the best lens? What's the best mic? What's the best light? What's the best editing software? How to start a channel? Tips for how to speak? Tips for how to behave in front of camera? Like, I was just like watching video after video after video for months. And it's like, you just, at one point, you just got to say enough and just pull the trigger and do it, right? You're not going to be able to learn everything there is to learn on how to start a channel. So you just got to start. And then the learning will come. As you do it, you'll gain experience. You'll make mistakes. You'll learn from those mistakes and continue, learning as you continue looking for videos from other people and things like that. But just do it. And the second thing, consistency. You just got to be consistent about it. And then eventually your channel will take off. How long you have to be, I don't know. Some people take off after a few months, some people after a few years, but you have to be consistent. If you lose consistency, then you lose traction and the channel doesn't take off. Anyways, let's do the last bit of news because we do have to talk about Neymar. And you might say, Mo, why are we talking about Neymar again? I'm sick and tired of talking about Neymar. I'm sick and tired of talking about Neymar too, but I have to talk about it because my duty is to bring in the news. You decide what to do with it. But the news is that Neymar's father has, I guess Neymar Sr., has addressed the rumors of the possibility of Neymar going back to Barca. Now, as we know, Neymar is currently on loan with Santos from Saudi Arabia after he pulled off the biggest heist. Played, what was it, 49 minutes or 53 minutes, something like that, and made something like 200 million or 300 million. I can't remember the exact figure, but made hundreds of millions just to play, I think it was 53 minutes. But anyways, he's currently on loan with Santos, and a story emerged that saying that Neymar had returned to Santos to regain his form, to impress, and that way try to move back to Barcelona during this summer. Well, after that story broke, Neymar's father decided to address that story and whether Neymar wants to come back to Barcelona or not. And this is what Ney Sr. had to say. Our project is not only for 5 months, even though my son's contract is only for 5 months. We did not come here to play 5 months. We have come to give Santos the opportunity to restructure itself during this time, to find allies who can help the club get back on its feet. So Neymar's father, in other words, saying that it's Neymar's plan to stay. They're there for the long haul. They want to help Santos get back to its glory days. So no, I guess Neymar is not coming back to Barca or doesn't want to go back to Barca. Well, he just says he's staying there for 5 months. Not necessarily he doesn't want to, because Neymar could still want to go to Barca. We've known that ever since he left, he's been wanting to come back. But of course, at this point, there's no way Barcelona are going to take him back. So Ney Sr. saying that Neymar is there at Santos for the long haul. I hope he's right. And the reason I say I hope he's right, because I'm tired of the links between Barca and Ney. I think that chapter is long closed, like a long time closed. The ship has sailed, so I'm tired of those links. So I hope he's right. And the reason I say I hope he's right and I don't just say I believe he's right is because there's one person in the world of football that I don't trust is Neymar's father. And Dembele's agent, Musa Sissoko. But anyways, that's a topic for another day. All right, let's do the comment section. Richard says, I love how Barca are signing players from my country, Ghana. Yeah, that's, what is it? That's 4 players now. Diarra, Abdelaziz Isa, Oduro, and now Hafez Gariba. I think there's another one. Where's Mamadou Mbake from? Is Mamadou Mbake Ghanaian? I know we signed him from the MLS, but what country is he from? Mamadou Mbake. Mbake is from, drum roll. Oh, no. Mbake is from Senegal. Damn. You could have had 5. I guess we'll stop at 4. But yeah, a lot of Ghanaian players. Ghana's producing some really good talent. Not the Gamer says, hey Mo, ideally, which CB would you sell to get top? P.S. Nico Williams is straight butt this season. Yeah, he is. This is tough. Okay, I don't say this lightly, so I don't want people to go crazy in the comment section like, oh my God, Mo. But I would say, actually, I take that back. I mean, I'm not taking it back because I didn't say it, but in my mind, this is so tough. Inyo and Pau, obviously, starting center backs. Nobody's touching that. Araujo, the best center back, one of the best center backs in Europe. He doesn't fit, but he still gives you a lot just for how good he is. I really like Eric, how he fits in Barca, Flick Styles, more specifically. So that leaves me with Christensen, which under Flick's system, well, I can't even say that, honestly. I mean, Christensen has a better build up from the back than Araujo does. So I would technically on paper, I would say Christensen over Araujo, but Araujo is just so much more talented and younger. So it's tough. It's tough. But I think I would say Christensen. And it pains me to say that, by the way, because I really, really like Christensen. I think he's a great defender. But it just makes more sense, right? Him and Todd are the same age, same market value. It's 1 for 1, you know, and you make 20 million in the process. Now you could say, well, if they're the 2 same center backs, then why just not keep Christensen and not bring Ta? Because if you just keep Ta and not bring if you keep Christensen and not bring Ta, then you don't make any money, right? But if you sell Christensen for 20 and replace him with a free Ta, Christensen was free also. Now you're in a positive 20 mil. So that's why I speak. Now, if we say, let's say Araujo, you could sell Araujo for 70 mil and bring Ta for free. And, well, maybe not 70 mil, 60 mil. So now you're positive 60, which is a lot more, but you're not trading center back for center back, right? You're bringing a 29-year-old in the place of, how old is Araujo? 25, 26? And obviously Araujo's a lot more talented than Ta. So I think Christensen. And again, I don't say this lightly because I really, really like Christensen. Trini Barca fan says, how are we able to sign new young players with FFP restrictions? Do different rules apply? Because the young players, they earn peanuts, so you can fit those easily. I mean, these players earn like, I think in the six figures, in 100,000, which obviously to an average person like me and you, it sounds like a lot of money, but in the world of football, it's nothing. They're not earning millions, so that's how. And Texas Transplant says, now that I was today years old, when I learned you're on Spotify, I'm officially following and alerts are on, baby. Thanks, my friend. Yeah, I never announced it. I just started adding episodes like a few weeks ago just to see how it goes. And yeah, I mean, if it grows, it grows. Cool. It'd be another channel, right? And the same amount of work because I literally just put stuff that I put on YouTube on Spotify. Because I know some people prefer Spotify over YouTube or YouTube over Spotify. Now you have both options. David says, Mo, now we are on top of the league table. Thanks for the good works. Visca Barça, Visca Catalunya. Amen, my friend. Visca Barça. And yes, we are on top where we belong. Michael says, hey, Mo, if being honest, the club shouldn't sign Nico. Flick can't promote Barca athletic players. Isaac should be the only signing in the transfer window. We could promote, but the problem is with promoting right now is that we don't have anyone who's ready to like just take the mantle and be the starting left winger. So that's why Barcelona are in the market. Right? Because not every player is going to be Lamine or Kouarsi that can just make the jump from the academy to the first team and just fit in like a glove, right? Most players, they take some time to get used to the first team. And right now we don't have a player that can just make the jump and boom, immediately be, a starter. All right, let's see. Willie says, Eric has become more physical off late. Have you observed? I think he's always physical. I've always liked Eric. I've always defended Eric, but people always thought I was crazy because I always saw the potential in him. The problem is under Xabi, he barely got any minutes, and when he got the minutes, he got him so sporadically that he never had continuation of minutes. And when you don't have continuation of minutes, you lose your competitive edge, right? It's like when players come back from injury or when players come back from summer break. At first, they need to play a few matches before they hit their form. And with Eric, since he was playing so sporadically, it's like every time he played, it's like he was coming back from injury or coming back from summer break. So he never got to show us what he had. But we saw it in Girona. I mean, he was like one of the best center backs in the Liga in Girona. He single-handedly canceled out our entire attack. Both times we played against them, and both times they scored 4 goals against us. But people said Xabi was a great coach. Oh, look, we're getting thrashed by a club as small as Girona. But it's okay because Xabi's amazing. And now Eric is starting to show us again what he has under Flick. And we have a donation, Richard. Very generous donation. Thank you so much, my friend. Says you're an inspiration for some of us wanting to start a YouTube channel. Thank you, my friend. That's actually very, very amazing to hear. If you guys ever need more advice, again, I'm always here to give advice. But like I said, my two main advice would be just do it. Don't prolong it anymore. Don't think about it. Don't just plan it. Don't say, oh, I'm going to wait until next month or next Monday, or just do it. Just do it. Because there's never going to be a perfect moment to do it. So might as well do it now. And all the time you're wasting, trying to, I'm just going to learn first by watching videos on how to do it. That time you could be actually learning by doing it yourself. And there's no better teacher than experience itself. Sure, you can watch videos from other YouTube channels on how to start a channel, but not until you start your own channel is that you're really, really going to learn, because experience is the best teacher. So just do it, and then consistency. That's the most important thing. That's why I make videos every day, even if I'm sick, even if I'm on vacation, even if I'm exhausted, because consistency is very important. Anyways, that is all the news, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you haven't seen the post-match live analysis, make sure you do. No more videos for today because this covered all the news. So I will see you guys tomorrow. So have a good night. And as always, Visca Barça.